Hi, welcome to Pizzo's Perfection, where perfection is never perfect. In case you don't know me, my name is Robin Pizzo, Pizzo's Perfection, and this is an author too. So we talk a lot about books, we talk a lot about writing. I'm here to inspire and share my journey towards publication. I have a dream to be both published traditionally as well as self-published. I write everything from poetry to children's literature to YA. I even have some women's pieces that I write. I do a lot of nonfiction as well. I'm a mom, a wife, and a full-time career woman, and still with a dream. And many of you have dreams, and I hope you learning about me and my journey and how I'm pursuing my dream will help you continue to push yourself forward to pursue your dreams. And hopefully that dream has something to do with writing, because our stories need to be told. All of those stories about life and love and history and angst and sorrow and pain, they all need to be told. So this is the third take. I got another son coming in making noise. But I wanted to warn you that it's summer. It's summer. School is out. Yeah. I always feel a little bit like, yay, we don't have the craze of go, go, go all the time, and we can slow things down, but then it's also, you got to feed them constantly, you got to entertain them, or they got to entertain themselves, your house is always a wreck, you know, the whole drama. So you may hear kids in and out. I'm trying to edit. This is my second take because I just had another kid interrupt. So yeah, I got a bunch of kids so that likes to interrupt. But today's video is 5 ways you can invest in your craft as a writer. 5 ways to invest in your craft, in your passion as a writer. Okay, 5 ways that you can invest in your craft as a writer. We have a lot of things going on all the time, but you must invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself. And if you have a dream, if you have a passion, figure out ways that you can invest in those dreams, in those passions, to push yourself forward, to move forward. Find ways in which you can invest. So today, we're going to be talking about 5 ways to invest in your craft. 5 ways to invest in your craft. So the first one, I have my notebook here that I keep my vlog notes in to help move us forward. I know I have a lot of new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing, for being a part of me. I'm gonna wait and pause because now I got someone cracking ice and making ice. Just gonna edit all of this out. Can you hurry up though?
Yeah.
Hands not clean, been playing with a ball, dirt, the whole 9. Now we're putting it back in there. Just leave it out because it's not clean.
Later, Mom.
Let's go. Hey, take 3. Take 3. Oh my goodness, he was making Gatorade that took like 2 hours. My youngest is supposed to be going to the movies. And you know, they got to try to get the whole crew and switch it up. And it was 6:30. Now they're trying to go at 9 to get a couple more in. And you know what? At 9, those couple more won't be able to go either. I probably edited all of that out. But I just said it's summer and we're just trying to survive. That's life. That's life. And that's summer. When you got a bunch of kids like me. My craft is writing. My craft is writing. I have a love and a passion for writing. I have a love and a passion for books. And I would love to produce books for a mass audience. I believe that the only way you can really support yourself in maintaining dreams is by investing. invest in yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Invest in yourself. So there are 5 ways we're going to talk about how you can invest in your craft as a writer. 5 ways that you can invest in your craft as a writer. I'm going to make sure that I develop these and pull them out even more into individual vlogs throughout the upcoming months. Summer, I got lots and lots of vlogs planned this summer, lots and lots. So I'll definitely develop them even more throughout the summer. But this is just a great way, quick overview of 5 ways you can invest in yourself and in your craft as a writer. Okay, number one, conferences. Treat yourself to go to a conference. I work in a field where conferences are big. Now conferences are big in every field. It seems like if you go to church, it's 5 million church conferences. If you are an educator, it's 1 million educational conferences. No matter what field you're in, there are tons of conferences, it seems like. So, and if you're in a field or if you work and there are no conferences, then treat yourself to learn what conferences are by investing in yourself as a writer and go to a conference. There are tons of them. And I've been to, probably since I started this journey, that was my big boost. When I really said I want to pursue becoming published traditionally, the very first thing my dear sweet husband did was, when I had a baby that just would not wean, and it was just, I was kind of up to here with 3 babies. He sent me to a writers conference in LA. So I went to the SCBWI. I'll do a whole video on SCBWI and their conferences. But that was my very first experience investing in myself, investing in my craft by going to a conference, and it was in LA. So definitely. All right, so invest in yourself, go to conferences. So since that first time, maybe 15 years ago, I know it was 15 years, it was about 13 years ago, because my one that would not wean is now 15. Since that one, I've probably been to 6 or 7. And since then, since this past year, I've just made a decision that I'm going to treat myself to a conference at least once a year. Even if it's something local, really small, a day one I can quickly go to, I'm going to treat myself to a conference, because conferences is where you learn and grow. I will do a whole video on conferences. Don't believe the hype. They are not where you will be discovered and someone will find your book. No, conferences is about learning and growing. That's really what it's about. And networking, getting around others who are also pursuing the same dream, the same goals, and just that camaraderie, being able to collaborate, being able to connect. Writing can be very solitary work, and conferences allow you to get around the people who are doing the same work that you're doing, and learn from them. And so definitely, number one, go to conferences. Find some conferences that you might want to go to that are writers' conferences, and treat yourself. Treat yourself to a conference. All right. The next one is a little like the same, but different. Same, but different. It is number 2. Number 2, the second way to invest in your craft as a writer is to join in workshops or courses, or take a course. Go to workshops or take a course. You can do that at conferences. You can take a course, you can take a class. Usually they're about an hour long at a conference. You can. But if you really want to invest in yourself, really afford to grow and learn in your craft, a deep dive in the course, even if you never did the school thing. I'm all school. I've been in school my whole life. I'm still in school. My whole career is school. So school is big for me. And so courses are no big thing. But say the school wasn't a big thing for you and you didn't have the best experiences in school. Take a course. Take a course. One that doesn't have the pressure of grades, the pressure of your mama talking about where that report card, the pressure of get your homework done. with no pressure, take a course, join in a workshop that is connected with your genre, that's connected with the type of reading you like to do, that's connected with the type of some of your favorite authors. There are so many. You can do them online. You can do them through, I'm giving them a little plug because one day I hope they call me and say, actually plug them. But Masterclass is a great course. I mean, they actually have assignments, little small snippets, the whole nine. So maybe, you know, you could do something like that. There are tons of writers, institutes online. One of my favorite authors is Jerry B. Jenkins. He has a whole authors guild. I've talked about it before. You could take one of his courses. He gives a lot of freebie stuff in them. But do a workshop, take a course. Your local community college, your community center. Sometimes there are local writing groups that offer like a 6 or 8 or 10-week writing course or workshop. Any one of those places that are available, you could definitely do a course or a workshop to invest in your craft. So definitely a workshop or a course is definitely another way to invest in yourself and to invest in your craft as a writer. 3, books. I keep saying that to everyone because I keep hearing a lot of people who want to be writers, and you say, well, what you reading? What do you love to read? What are some of your favorite authors? And they can't tell you. You gotta read books. And it can't be just books that you barely skim through. I mean, you gotta dive deep in books. But when it comes to investment in your craft, I believe in the process of sowing and reaping. And I believe you can't expect people to buy your work, people to invest in your writing, if you're not willing to invest in someone else's writing. If there are authors that you have enjoyed and you've never ever bought one of their books, gotta say it, shame on you. Invest in them as a writer because you want that returned in some type of way. When you get out there, you want them to invest in you or whoever. And I believe in reaping what you plant is what's going to come up. And so if you plant seeds of support, seeds of encouragement, money into someone's writing career. I have so many books and I have tons, and I don't do good with the library. I just don't. I love the library. I grew up on the library. Every Wednesday I was at the library. And so it's a very, very special place for me. And my kids grew up on the library. I took them every single week. We ride our bikes because it's not that far away. And so they have the library in them also. But I never do well with the library. I keep the books far too long. We can't find the book. The book is under the console in the car, is under the chair, is under the couch, is behind a bookshelf. I don't do well with libraries. So I have a tendency just naturally to buy books. And I can buy a book in a heartbeat at the grocery store, at the flea market, if there's somewhere, I'm at the airport, I am, and books are being sold, I can find a book for me to buy. And I just look at it as it's a way for me to invest. It's a way for me to invest. I'm sowing what I want to get back in return, which is I want somebody to pick up my book and actually spend some dollars on my book. So reaping and sowing is really important. And I have a girlfriend, hey Landis, who's an author, Landis Lane. She's with Brown Girls Publishing, I think is the name of her publishing company. And she always says, I don't see why we all in the network, every month we buy a different author's book within the network that keeps our book out there, that keeps our book in front. Even if you don't read it, gift it to somebody, circulate it so that we're invested and sowing and reaping into other people's writing. And so I truly believe that's really important, that you not just go to the library and use them. Yes, that's great. And sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you just have to, there's a book that you want to learn from and maybe you can't afford at that time. So you just got to use the resources you use. But I truly believe in the power of reaping, sowing and reaping. Sowing and reaping. You sow, you're going to reap what you sow. And if you want someone to invest in your writing when you are producing books and you have books out in the space, then you need to invest in others. You need to invest in others, and you need to actually spend your hard-earned dollars on books. You just do. You just do. And that, I just believe it comes back around. It comes back around. And I think it's something powerful for your children to see you spending money on books. I have several friends and several colleagues, business associates, who every Friday they take their children, when they get their paycheck, they take their children to the bookstore to buy a book. Not gym shoes, not, a new gear, but they go buy a book just so that child understands how important investing in knowledge and in books really is. And I try to do some of that. I've always done that with the Scholastic flyers when they came home. Go through which ones do you want and let them have that experience. But definitely, you need to invest by buying books. That is the third way. So the first way was conferences. Actually go to a conference. Many of them are in hotels. You stay in the hotel for a night. It's a nice little getaway. You learn a lot. And for me, I cry at every conference I go to because it's like seeing my rock stars. I get to see all these fabulous authors, and the tears are flowing. So definitely go to conferences. You want to do a workshop or a course. That's a deep dive, a little more intensive than a conference, because a conference is only going to give you a workshop that might last an hour at the most, a couple of hours, but you want to do a deep dive course, maybe at the community college, maybe online, or, through some other avenue. And then the third way is books, reaping and sowing and reaping. Buy books, keep the market going, keep the industry. Don't believe all the hype about books are going out of style and we don't have the big bookstores and independent. For every one that dies, there's another one that resurrects and opens up. So just buy books so that you're continuing that circle of life when it comes to putting good books out there for everyone to enjoy. Buy books. The next one, this is a big ticket item. This is number 4, big ticket item. And that is hire someone to help you continue to grow and develop. I'm going to do probably a series of videos on my journey toward publication using an editor. If I should use an editor, if you should use an editor, and there are tons of freelance editors out there, and I have chosen to invest in an editor. I just want to be able to get behind someone who's actually in the publishing field, get behind their eyes and see their perspective, understand their perspective when they're reviewing my work. And I'm hoping to grow and learn from that perspective, that I will be able to kind of get behind the publishing industry's eyes and see what ways I need to improve, what ways. And that doesn't mean if they say this is trash, I'm done with that book. It just means I get to see a different perspective when it comes to my work, and I get to learn and grow on how to make my writing crisper, more clear, more effective, more engaging, more humorous, more emotional, more thematic. All of those things are very important to me. All of those elements, I want to make sure my characters are complex, that they are more than one-dimensional. And I'm hoping being able to do that. Yes, I have beta readers. Go back and look at my video finding your squad. I have beta readers. I have critique partners that review my work and go through it with me. They're great sister friends that challenge me in my writing, and I love them. I love all that they do for me in my writing, but I still find it invaluable to have someone who does it for a living, who's in the industry, looking over your work, and I'm able to do it a little bit. And so I just wanted to have that experience. So that's something you could do. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pay for that person. You might be able to find someone who will do a swap. I have that person too. Shout out to Brittany. I have that person too who will, we exchange our writing and give each other really good feedback. And I met her on Twitter. Met her on Twitter. And we don't charge each other anything. We just say, hey, you want to swap some work? And then we give each other feedback. That's a great way to do it as well. But if you want to go big ticket, there are tons of freelance editors out there and writing services out there where you can connect and actually have your writing reviewed with the understanding that you are there to learn, not to say they didn't like my work and I don't know what they saw and all of that, or I'm gonna get discovered. No, it's just about learning. It's just about learning, investing in your work. So that's another thing, could be a big ticket item because it does cost probably the most out of all of the buying books or going to a conference or even perhaps paying for a workshop. An editor could be more money in that sense. And then number five, another way to invest in your craft is your time. How much time are you giving to your writing? How much time are you actually writing? Butt in seat. Because you can think about writing all day. You could walk a journey, a mile, thinking about characters, thinking about plot. And if you never sit your butt in the seat and actually write, actually get on that laptop, it's not going to happen. Okay, so how much time are you giving to that? I'm preaching to myself. I'm preaching to the choir. That finger pointing back at me. I'm preaching to myself. How much time are you giving to your passion? How much time are you giving to what excites you and what you're dreaming about? How much time are you giving to it? So how much time are you writing? I know for me, the very best, and you're going to see some videos about my best writing days, but my very best writing days is when I'm up at 5:30, tea done by 6, and I'm in a chair by 6 a.m. And I have that first hour and a half to plow through some writing. I can get a ton done that way. And those are my best writing days. And then I still have days when, I'm constantly revising, constantly going over work. But how much time are you applying to your craft? Are you actually writing? Are you actually reading about writing? Are you actually looking and researching and discovering new ideas to even put in your writing? All of that time investment. My husband used to preach this all the time, and he preaches it to his players even today. So how much time are you spending investing in pursuing your passion as a writer? That's a major deal. 5 ways that you can invest in your craft is really important. And that is conferences, workshops or classes, courses, big ticket expenses, hiring a freelance editor if you have some really good completed work that you feel like you've hit a wall, you can't go too much further with it. Let me go ahead and get some, professional eyes on this. I think that's important. Books, reaping and sowing. How much are you invested in buying other people's work? And then time. How much time? Okay, I hope you got something out of this. Please, please, please leave a comment. Thank you so much for those of you who are leaving a comment. I love this community we're building. I hope you're encouraged and inspired to invest in yourself, to treat yourself, and really invest in your craft. And I hope you continue to follow Pizzo's Perfection along this journey. Thank you and have a great, great, great day.